Welcome to 7 Days Report, your reliable source of information from all major news from around the world. I'm your host, Vasilios Nikolaos Vitsilogiannis, and I'm happy to have you here with us this evening. Every weekend at 12 p.m. and 9 p.m., we bring you the latest headlines, in-depth analysis, and insightful commentary on the stories that matter most. Whether you're tuning in for a recap of the week or looking for a deeper understanding of global events, we've got you covered. Let's start with our first news. At least 9 people were injured after gunfire erupted Sunday night at a crowded Glendale, Arizona restaurant during a Cinco de Mayo celebration, police said. The shooting, described by authorities as chaotic, occurred just before 8 p.m. at El Camarón Gigante, a steakhouse near 57th Drive and Lamar Road. According to Glendale Police Department spokesperson Maroni Mendez, multiple shooters are believed to have opened fire during the event, which families and people of all ages attended. Witnesses reported hearing more than 20 shots in rapid succession, followed by a brief pause and then another volley of gunfire. The number is closer to 9 now, but it is more than 3, Mendez told reporters late Sunday, noting that the count could change as the investigation continues. The conditions of the victims remain unclear, with some witnesses describing paramedics performing intensive chest compressions on several individuals and others being taken away conscious on stretchers. No police officers fired their weapons during the incident, and authorities emphasized that the area has since been secured and poses no ongoing threat to the public. No arrests have been made, but several people have been detained for questioning as investigators work to determine their roles as victims, witnesses, or possible suspects. Quite a few people were held at the scene, Mendez said, adding that the investigation would likely stretch well into the morning hours. Police have not released the victims' identities or any details about the suspects. Authorities are urging anyone with information about the shooting to contact the Glendale Police Department as the search for answers continues in the aftermath of one of the city's most violent nights in recent memory. India launched a series of airstrikes against Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir early past Wednesday, marking a significant escalation in the long-standing conflict between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The operation, named Operation Sindoor, targeted 9 locations identified by India as terrorist infrastructure linked to militant groups Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, which India holds responsible for a deadly militant attack on April 22nd in Indian-administered Kashmir that killed 26 people, mostly tourists. Indian officials emphasized that the strikes were precise and deliberately avoided hitting any military installations in Pakistan, aiming to dismantle terrorist camps used for recruitment, training, and weapon storage without escalating the conflict further. The strikes hit sites in Punjab, Pakistan's most populous province, and in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, including Muzaffarabad and Kotli. Pakistan strongly condemned the attacks as unprovoked aggression and vowed retaliation. Pakistani military spokesperson Lieutenant Ahmed Sharif Chaudhry reported that the strikes caused at least 26 deaths and 46 injuries, including civilians, and that 5 Indian aircraft and a drone were shot down during ensuing aerial engagements, claims India has not confirmed. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif warned that India's actions will not go unanswered and pledged a response at a time and place of Pakistan's choosing. The airstrikes represent the most severe military confrontation between India and Pakistan in over 2 decades, raising fears of a broader conflict. The international community has called for restraint from both sides amid the heightened tensions following the April militant attack in Kashmir, which India attributes to Pakistan-backed groups, a charge Islamabad denies. This latest episode underscores the fragile and volatile situation in the Kashmir region, where decades of rivalry and unresolved territorial disputes continue to fuel cycles of violence and retaliation between India and Pakistan. In a historic moment for the Catholic Church, Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost of Chicago has been elected as the first American pope, taking the name Leo XIV. The 69-year-old Augustinian priest, who spent decades as a missionary in Peru, was chosen by the College of Cardinals after a swift conclave lasting just 3 sessions and 24 hours. White smoke billowed from the Sistine Chapel on Thursday evening, signaling the election of the 267th pontiff. St. Peter's Square erupted in celebration as Cardinal Dominique Mamberti announced the new pope from the balcony. Prevost, visibly moved, greeted the crowd with his inaugural blessing, "Peace be with all of you." He emphasized unity and hope, declaring, "God loves us, all of us. Evil will not prevail." Born in Chicago in 1955 to parents of Franco-Italian and Spanish descent, Prevost's journey in the church began as an altar boy. He joined the Augustinian order, studied at Villanova University, and was ordained in Rome in 1982. His missionary work in Peru, where he became a bishop and later served as prefect of the dicastery for bishops, cemented his reputation as a bridge builder between North and South America. Pope Leo XIV's papacy is expected to continue the reformist legacy of Pope Francis, focusing on peace, social justice, and outreach to the marginalized. In his first remarks, he thanked his predecessor and called for a missionary church always ready to welcome everyone. Observers note that Leo XIV's dual American and Peruvian identity and his Augustinian background signal a commitment to global dialogue and inclusivity. As the bells of St. Peter's rang out, the world witnessed a new chapter in Catholic history, with Pope Leo XIV pledging to lead with humility, unity, and peace. Germany's new government has intensified security measures at its borders, particularly along the southern frontiers with Austria and the Czech Republic, and announced plans to extend similar controls to the western borders. This move aims to curb irregular migration and enhance internal security, marking a significant shift in the country's migration policy under Chancellor Friedrich Merz's leadership. Interior Minister Alexander Dobrindt confirmed that police presence at the borders will be increased in the coming days, with stricter identity checks and the possibility of turning away some asylum seekers who attempt to enter Germany irregularly. While vulnerable individuals will still be allowed entry, the government intends to enforce a policy requiring asylum applications to be filed in the first EU country of entry, aligning with European Union law. Since September 2024, Germany has maintained temporary border controls across all land borders, which have contributed to a one-third reduction in asylum applications compared to the previous year. The federal police have detected approximately 80,000 illegal entries and issued around 47,000 refusals of entry, while also arresting nearly 1,900 migrant smugglers. The new government plans to expand and intensify these controls further, coordinating closely with neighboring countries such as Austria, France, and Poland to manage migration flows collectively. The announcement coincides with Berlin's commemoration of VE Day, marking the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II in Europe. The new government's stance on border security reflects a broader focus on national stability and security as Germany navigates complex migration challenges in a changing geopolitical landscape. This policy shift has sparked debate within the EU regarding the balance between national border controls and the principles of the Schengen area, with some neighboring countries expressing concerns about the impact on free movement and asylum cooperation. As Germany moves forward with these measures, the government emphasizes its commitment to protecting both its borders and the rights of those seeking refuge under lawful conditions. In a significant move to finalize a trade agreement with the United States, India has offered to slash its tariff gap with the U.S. from nearly 13% to below 4%, marking a two-thirds reduction in import duties. This proposal comes amid ongoing negotiations aimed at securing an exemption from President Donald Trump's current and potential tariff hikes, including a previously announced 26% tariff on Indian exports that is currently paused. India's offer includes eliminating duties on 60% of tariff lines in the initial phase, which would substantially lower trade barriers and reduce the average tariff differential by about 9 percentage points in favor of the U.S. Additionally, India has proposed preferential access for nearly 90% of goods imported from the U.S., including reduced tariffs on high-value products such as aircraft, luxury vehicles, electric cars, medical devices, telecom equipment, and certain agricultural items like shrimp, bananas, and grapes. The U.S. is India's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade reaching approximately $129 billion in 2024, where India currently holds a $45.7 billion trade surplus. The deal is seen as crucial for India to maintain favorable trade relations and attract foreign investment, especially as the country seeks to boost economic growth beyond its current 6% rate. However, the proposed tariff cuts signal a sharp pivot from India's traditionally protective trade policies, which have relied on high tariffs to shield domestic industries, including agriculture, manufacturing, and IT hardware. Critics warn that removing these protections could expose Indian manufacturers to intense competition from U.S. imports, potentially undermining sectors vital to the Make in India initiative. India is also seeking technology sector concessions to gain parity with allies like Britain and Japan in areas such as AI, biotechnology, pharmaceuticals, and semiconductors. A team of Indian officials is expected to visit the U.S. soon to advance talks, with hopes to finalize the agreement swiftly following the recent India-UK trade deal that reduced tariffs on a wide range of goods. The outcome of these negotiations will be closely watched as both nations aim to balance trade interests with economic and strategic priorities. As we wrap up another edition of the 7 Days Report, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks for joining me this evening. We've covered a wide array of significant global events, and I hope you found our news insightful and engaging. Remember, you can catch us every weekend at 12 p.m. and 9 p.m. for your weekly major news from around the world. Stay tuned for our next meeting, where we'll dive deeper into the stories shaping our world. Until then, take care and keep informed. This is Vasilios Nikolaos Vitsilogiannis signing off. Goodbye.